Here. Want to hi? Hi. Okay. You don't want no water?
Grammy's new shirt is covered in dirt as she washes. The baby's asleep. Pop's red nose just needs some good blows. Achoo! 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 And everyone says, the baby's asleep.
Can you say shh? Good job.
Shay's hair is still wet. Her curls haven't set. And she dries it with the blow dryer. The baby's asleep.
The baby is asleep. Good job.
Dante's toy truck needs its wheels unstuck. Bang, 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 bang. The baby's asleep. Rover's big jaws are due for some calls. And everyone says, the baby's asleep.
Sorry, girl.
And what's that? Oh no, Mr. Young starts to mow. I hate that sound in the morning. You're trying to sleep.
Oh no. Oh no.
Everyone says, the baby's asleep.
Oh my goodness.
What's about to happen? Oh, it's not this girl.
Maybe you can't see the picture this time. Oh no. You like this book?
Someone woke the baby. All these uproars while the poor baby snores. Now the baby's awake. Woo! For goodness sake.
Ooh. Goodness sake. Can I see your nose?
Yes,
Blah, blah, blah.
everyone woke up the baby. You know what we need. A good book to read.
Amari.
Let's see if that will quiet the baby.
Son.
Now don't make a peep as Dad reads the book. With the baby looking happy. Just got back from the library. It was really, really good. It was really fun. And next time I'm gonna have to bring Anaya because it was a lot of kids there. Dang, I should have got 6 nuggets. I didn't know he was gonna be tearing them up like this.
What?
Yeah.
I can turn the oven on.
Nah, he can be cool, man. I'm gonna give them a piece of yogurt. I guess I'm just happy to see him eat right now.
Fries need Jesus.
The fries need Jesus? Like the old, right?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Thank God for McDonald's. Night night. Is that yummy?
Open my door.
Open your laptop for more
Ba.
fun. Really into Mario characters and just watching Mario. And so, McDonald's gave him this. Who is this? Peach. Ooh. I guess we're gonna have to collect them all. So this is a new game, or is it just... Who is that?
Mommy more.
Mario. Good job. So right now he's just eating some McDonald's. He loves McDonald's. And then I's eating some McDonald's too. And I'm about to eat some too. Me and Pookie.
We're seeing a little bit of old behaviors returning, like a little bit of head banging where it's not as severe as it was before, but it's still definitely concerning because I know you used the helmet last week. And then a lot more tantruming when like things don't go his way or when he's told no. And then we're also seeing like hitting his hands on things like SIP and self-injurious behavior, where self-injurious behavior where he's purposefully hurting himself in little ways that aren't
help her.
terrible, but she just wants to throw him down. Where he's not hurting himself that badly, but he's doing it to seek that attention. So I was gonna say that it's gonna be really important to, when he's doing that, like slamming his hands or any body parts, you do have to ignore as much as he'll do it and then ask you to, you know, like give his
he can throw tantrums really badly though. It's so bad.
I know, but...
And that was the issue I was having before, and it's coming back to my same behavior coming back.
Exactly. So just being on the same page between all three of us, making sure that we do.
So if I was to put him on timeout, would that be fine, or is that not ignoring him?
So there's two ways that we respond to behaviors. The first, four. So there's positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, and then there's positive and negative reinforcement, and then there's positive and negative punishment. So putting him in timeout would be considered a punishment, which in ABA we try to steer away from punishments, but absolutely as parents you're welcome to. And you can, I would recommend that you explain to him why he's going to be put in timeout. That's absolutely fine. When
He still doesn't understand a lot of things though. I think we should hold off on the punishing because, you know, he hits Anaya and he hits me. He's been hitting me lately.
Yeah, I think that's the point of putting him in timeout.
Timeout doesn't always work. It really doesn't.
Honestly, for that question, I would like steer you to the BCBA because she would be able to give specific, you know, feedback for Amari when it comes to whether punishment
that's
might be the best
fine.
thing.
Necessarily, you try one thing. If that don't work, then you try another.
Yeah.
So
if you really want to try it, we'll try it. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I think, so it would, in terms of punishment, like I wouldn't be able to do any punishment protocols, but you all, like I said, absolutely can. And so if you do want to like give him that timeout or whatever the case is, but I want to address like specifically what happened when I think you were getting ready and then he was crying and trying to get to you. So,
Yeah, that was weird.
yeah, so he, you know, he was screaming, he was doing his thing. And when I got out of the bathroom, I grabbed him and I brought him in here and I like laid him down because I think he was trying to slump down so he could hit his head. So I rested him on the rug. And then I closed the door. And so I wanted to just address that to make you guys feel comfortable as his parents because, I mean, obviously like a closed door would like raise concern for anybody, you know. But like I told you before, like I worked in a clinic and so we had what we would call like a quiet room or like a
like a little corner or
behavior
something.
control room is
Okay.
really what it is. And so what that would be is just like a room with like nothing else in it so that you don't have any outside factors impacting like the behavior that's currently taking place. So that isolation is a big factor because a lot of that is typically for attention, which he was hoping for from you. And then the other piece of that was to make sure that he can't like hurt himself from like running, tantruming, like hitting a wall or hitting his, hand on something. And so I just wanted to make sure that you guys know that if you do see me like, isolating Amari, you're welcome to look, just for your own comfort. Like you can peep in, like see exactly like what I'm doing, because if you need to, repeat the same thing later. But I had him, he laid on the floor, he got up and then he started hitting his hands on the floor, on the wall, and then bringing them to me and saying ouch and forcing his
He
hand
hasn't
into
done that
mine.
in weeks. And it's like now that it's coming up, I don't know what's going on.
And the fact that, so like I was telling you when we came outside, so my goal in that was to help him calm down. So I started counting and he was refusing until like I did full physically prompting and we did the waiting. But he was forcing, after he slammed his hands on everything, he was like forcing it into mine. So I would rub it and I refused to, because, it wasn't an accident that he got hurt. He's hurting
He's
himself.
been doing that lately. Like he's doing things on purpose and saying, like acting like it's an accident.
Right, like ouch, and like he wouldn't move on from that.
So
even
it's
when
just
I'm ignoring.
attention seeking.
Yes, absolutely. And so I know it's so hard to ignore those things. But as soon as we came outside, I don't know if you realized, but he went straight up to you.
That's like that's real. I mean, at the end of the day, it's actually pretty normal shit.
What?
Attention seeking.
Attention seeking?
Yeah. So
Yeah, but
when it comes to
he does it a lot.
thank you. When it comes to when you're saying like it's normal stuff, do you mean like neurotypical kids versus atypical kids kind of thing? Because it absolutely
It's not
is.
really like, I mean, yes and no. It's just necessarily just like it's normal for a kid, period.
Yeah.
To be seeking attention.
Yes. And so the thing is that
Babe.
with Amari,
What? I gotta multitask, man. We gotta be out of here. I'm sorry.
the thing is with Amari is that we're trying our best to make sure that he uses his words as opposed to crying and screaming. So it's
No,
not.
I get that.
Yeah. So the issue isn't, oh, Amari needs attention, don't give him attention. The issue is.
No, I'm saying like you right, as in like don't give them attention. That's what you do with kids normally.
What?
Unless they're asking or doing things positively to get the attention. So
Like, I mean, yeah, I get that. I'm just saying like if they pitching a fit, then that you just like that's when
right.
you ignore
You
it.
leave it alone. You ignore. And so the part about punishments when it gets tricky, like you mentioned, like staying in a corner, is that.
I ain't
So-
having them stay in the corner more or less. I just meant
Or
like
even in a room. It's not a
just
bad
putting them
thing,
in here
but
just
what
so
I was gonna,
he ain't
the part
tripping
I was
out.
gonna say was that like reinforcement is something that will increase the behavior. Yes. Oh, you have stickers. It's something that will increase the behavior, and so if you are giving, like, if you're okay, let's say the attention that he wants is a hug, then sure, he might cry until you actually start comforting him. But also a lot of times we see like kiddos acting out for even like those like negative interactions. Like, the response that they're looking for is like, oh, maybe mom's been ignoring me all day, so I'm gonna act out until she finally yells at me and pays me attention. So even though we might not think of like the yelling or the yelling or the maybe like whatever it is that's like, the punishment as like, you don't think that it's reinforcing the behavior, it still is because you are giving that attention. And so that's why like the ignoring protocol would be like, at least, in this scenario with Amari, like what he needs
I'm gonna have to
most.
take baby steps though. Like
And
maybe
then-
for a couple of days and then see if it's working.
And
Girl, stop
unfortunately,
being a baby.
it would definitely take more
It's
than
hard.
days. It is, no, it really is, because he'd be crying and tantruming. It's really hard. But what you have to do in those moments is redirect him to the positive behavior that you want to see.
Okay.
So, Amari, use your words. Make sure you say, please open the gate, or, make sure that you
So just keep talking to
first
him.
share.
Just
Yes,
keep talking to
until you
him
get
until.
the demand that was placed. And then you can move forward.
Okay.
The other thing that I really wanted to talk to you guys about was the library today. So at the library, I know that you were talking about how, he wasn't engaging with a lot of the other kids. And I just want you to know that that's perfectly fine. So there's different types of play that kids engage in. And the one that he was doing is called onlooker play. So that's basically you're just an observer, really.
Yeah.
And you're learning a lot of your environment by just looking and being on the outside. And then eventually that develops into like other forms of play, like parallel play, where you're in the same room, but you're not engaging with other kids as yet, but you're working on activities without like engaging in behaviors. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with like what he was doing today, because it was a new environment, there's new people. And
Yeah, when he had went to the fire extinguisher, and I was like, okay, that's it. We lost him. He's not gonna come back. I was so happy when he came back. I was gonna cry, honestly.
Yeah, and it's really just like there's so many different things, and I think that it was hard for him to engage with the story because it was a little bit far away.
True.
The pictures were small, the words were small, and we know he loves reading, but he couldn't see the words.
That's true.
And then there were
When he went up to the lady, that's what I was telling Blake. I was like, man, I'm gonna say it's probably because he couldn't see. And I was like, well, yeah, that makes sense because he loves story time.
Yeah, and so, and you know, I know he obviously he knows how to say hi and bye at this point, but he didn't engage when I prompted him.
Not being able to see you talking about him being an inability to see, or y'all just was that far away?
We were far away.
We were at the back of the room.
And you was trying to have him say hi.
Right, and so he didn't engage, and I think that, you know, that will come more with when we're, you know, getting used to being around other kids again. Because I don't know if you remember back in the fall, before it got too cold, we were at the park and he said hi to people perfectly fine. But that also was a one-on-one situation with him and one other kid. So, like I said, that just takes time. The more we do community outings, the more those skills are going to be built. But
cool.
absolutely, onlooker play is a perfectly normal part of like childhood development. But yeah, so that was it.